It's time to watch the right wing in Arizona with Arizona Right Wing Watch.
Yes, that's right. That's what we're doing. This is Watching the Right Wing with Arizona Right Wing Watch. I am Mike Raines, a.k.a. Poker and Politics, and I am, of course, joined by Haley, a.k.a. Arizona Right Wing Watch.
Yep, that's me.
Yes. Hi. This is, oh, God, it was like the Max Hedberg 7 featuring Max Hedberg, like the band that Conan O'Brien had on his show. I just remember that guy just tried to wedge his name into the band's name as much as possible. He was just like, it's going to be about me, baby. It's all about me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, buddy. Whatever you want. Calm down. Yeah. So Arizona is, as always, the most Q-pilled, insane state in our beloved union. Your local Congress critters, the people who represent the constituents of the great state of Arizona, kind of insane. Little bit. Just a touch. Just a slice. So I have been given 4 delightful headlines from people who follow the regular show. I am fulfilling the role of L here, where I tee it up for the expert, and then they spike it across the volleyball net. So we begin with violent AZ GOP comments post-Trump indictment. So what did the nuts in Arizona have to say about Trump's indictment, and what sort of violence did they portend?
Well, Carrie Lake had a comment that was like, if you want to get Trump, you're going to have to go through me and the 75 million Americans like me who are members of the NRA, card-carrying members, you know? And she's like, that's not a threat. That's just a PSA. And it's like, that is a threat. It feels kind of like a threat. But also, it's just like, it's so annoying when it's like people like Carrie make these threats, because it's like, you're like 90 pounds. You're going to go flying back 40 feet. You even shoot a shotgun, you know?
Yeah, you're not. I was thinking about her recently, and I was just thinking that, you know, given the state of play of the current Republican primary, if the money people, if like Rupert Murdoch and the Republican Party elites are looking at this shit, because what's really weird is we keep seeing like polling about the Republican primary field. Fuck that. Get some more polls out about Biden versus Trump. Let's see how bad that looks for Team Trump at this point. Because I'm betting every day that goes by it just gets worse. Because I really just don't see a lot of independent voters being like, you know, I'm not really sure about Biden, but this massively indicted guy that was already president once, maybe I should give him another bite at the apple. That sounds like a good idea. So I just think about it, and I'm like, you know, DeSantis ain't lighting the world on fire. He kind of sucks. Who can the Republican base galvanize behind? Who can they support? Carrie Lake should just run for president right now. She should just do it. She should just do it. She should just throw her hat in the ring and be like, boom, fuck it. Like, she'd be like, look, she should come out and be like, look, I love Trump. Trump's the greatest. I just worry that the deep state is going to put him in jail and hamstring his campaign between now and the election. So I'm going to run for president on a pro-Trump MAGA platform. And I promise my first act once I get into office is to pardon Trump for all his crimes, because they're all fake. Bing, bang, boom. And she would be in second place tomorrow. She would pass DeSantis immediately, because he just ain't doing it. He sucks.
Yeah, he's not interesting.
No. Lake 100% can win a Republican primary. She cannot win a general election. But I just think that and she's only going to get less relevant as time goes on. It's not like she's going to do better in the future. So, like, yo, Carrie, call me up. I'll be your campaign manager. Let's do this. Let's get you in there. Make this primary even more fucking ridiculous than it already is.
She's going to be the VP. That's still my prediction. That's still my hot prediction.
I would be the happiest clam in the ocean if she was the vice president. Oh my God. Because I've said this on the regular pod before as well, but it's just like this thing where in 2020, I was the belle of the ball. I had all kinds of journalists asking me, hey, Mike Raines, I couldn't get a hold of Travis View or Mike Rothschild. You'll do in a pinch. Want to talk some QAnon with us? Reporter people who need to understand your weird world of nut job lunatics. And then the moment Biden got in office, I was like, hey, reporter person, you want to talk to me? They're like, get back under the bridge, troll. Fuck you, buddy. You ain't shit. And so 2024 rolls around. Maybe those journalists start knocking on my door again. Maybe they start talking to me. But if Carrie Lake's the vice presidential nominee, oh my God, I'm going to be beating off the journalists with a stick. I'm going to be like, no, get off me, journalists. No. It's $200 an hour if you want to talk to my grains now, because I'm in demand. I'm important. So
yeah.
It's like, oh God. So please, Lake or MTG, and I get to have a mansion. Lake or MTG is the nominee, and I get to be important again. I get to be a big special boy, because they're gonna be like, fuck, there's like 10 people that know this shit, and Will Sommer and Ben Collins are already on TV enough that we can't get them. So it's like, basically, after Travis and Mike Rothschild, you're fucked. It's like, oh God, we're like, because I mean, like, Dapper Gander doesn't post his face or his name, and a lot of people think Dapper Gander's a woman. So like, although Dapper has a golden voice, if you've heard the
I heard he's hot.
Yeah.
Not to be weird, because I don't know him, or I don't even think we follow each other, but I've heard from Stephanie. I'm sorry, Stephanie.
I met Dapper. I cannot confirm nor deny his hotness.
What's that?
So, yeah,
I don't know anything about you. I'm sorry if you're listening to this, Mr. Duck. I feel weird saying that.
Oh, I really enjoy that name. That was one of the things, like, because when I joined Twitter and got into this dumb shit, I was just sort of like, man, that is a hilarious name, Feminist Propagander. I just loved it. It was.
Is that why people think he's a woman? Because the feminist thing? That's so funny.
Right. Yeah. But it was such a great name. And actually, that's really funny, because when I first started the podcast, I was doing solo work, and there was this guy that was like, he had like 3 followers, but he was like one of the most articulate, funny people I know. And he would just go at people. He was like literally one of these people that just works to get suspended from Twitter, because when he got into a fight with a troll, it was just F-bombs and vitriol. I mean, he just did not give a shit if he got reported. He just did not care. He was coming at you hammer and tongs. And that guy was like, your podcast is okay, but you need a co-host to bounce stuff off of. Maybe you can get Dapper to join you. She might be helpful. Because again, at that point, no one knew anything about Dapper. And most people assumed that Dapper was female because of the Feminist Propagander name. And then the QAA guys literally bought Dapper a microphone to get him on QAA, which was hilarious. So, but yeah, Dapper's awesome. All those people are awesome. But it's just this thing where there's just not a lot of people in this shitty subset of humanity that is reporting on this stuff. And as a result, like, if you want to get into this niche, if you want to actually be like, oh my God, what do I say about Carrie Lake or Marjorie Taylor Greene? Like, it's like, fuck, I've got to talk to the Shirley Manson guy. I've got to talk to that weird kook on the internet about this
JFK
shit.
Shirley Manson guy.
Yeah, the JFK Shirley Manson guy. I got to talk about the guy that's just fucking living in that bizarre universe. And it's just like, hey, nutball, can you tell us about Marjorie Taylor Greene? The secrets of my prophecies. Shut up. Just talk. Talking to the kid, oh boy. It's like, yes, master, I'll talk to the kid. So it's just so funny. But yeah, Carrie Lake, I really honestly think that, like, she should run right now. And if she doesn't, then the thing that's kind of funny is I can totally see her being the vice president because she's completely subservient to Trump and that's what he wants and all that kind of stuff. But
yeah, it feels like she's kind of like trying out for a role. How she's been acting lately.
Right, absolutely. The only thing is that I just don't see the value add for her on the ticket. Like, I just don't see how she or Green is value add, because the whole point of your vice president is to try to shore up a weakness that you have with some constituency, because like it's basically like JFK picked LBJ because he wanted to appeal to Southern conservatives, and also because he was blackmailed because LBJ was going to give up the sex tapes of Marilyn Monroe. And that, spoiler, that's not true. But like Obama wanted Biden because he wanted to be like, hey, I know it's really crazy that you people are going to vote a young black man into the presidency, but don't worry, I got an old white guy over my shoulder.
Piece of white bread.
Yeah, piece of white bread. Keeping me on the straight and narrow. And then Biden did the reverse, where he was like, I know you're picking old white guy, so I'm going to give you a black lady as the vice president to try to make sure you understand that I'm still hip, I'm still with it, I'm still cool. And
remember Obama?
I remember I was Obama's vice president. It's so crazy. And Trump picked Pence because the Jesus freaks were like, does Trump really hate gay people and want women to die from endoscopic pregnancies? Does he really? And they were like, yeah, he picked Pence. Pence is all about that shit. Pence hates gay people and he wants women to bleed out like you fucking read about. And then the evangelicals were like, yes.
And Trump like surrounded himself with babes, and Pence was like, I cannot be in a room with a woman.
Yeah. Mother won't let me be in a room alone. Oh God. Yeah. So I just think that I just don't see the value add for Trump beyond the fact that he's going for this ultra cynical, I'm picking a woman vice president to try to like deflect from the whole misogyny of the Republican Party, and I'm trying to cover up for our vicious anti-abortion bullshit. Hey, look, dames, a dame vice president, ain't that great? It's like, yeah, the Democrats already have one of those. What, like, we don't care. So I mean, it's but I would think that, God, it's so hard to try to figure out where Trump's rotten brain. The thing is I just feel like he would pick Lake or Green or someone that's just a sycophant to him, because at this point he's off the rails. At this point you can't even talk to him, because he got talked into Pence because he wanted Christie. Christie was who he wanted for vice president, and then Paul Manafort and a bunch of other people like flim-flammed him into Pence, and he eventually went with it. So I just, this time I feel like the Trump campaign is going to be Trump's running it. It's just my way or the highway. And he's just going to pick his VP, and he doesn't give a fuck about the politics of it all.
Also,
so
like, a super important, like, thing to think about is, like, who's actually, like, stupid enough to be his VP after, you know, the whole Pence thing.
Yeah.
And it's, like, not too many people probably want that job, actually, but Carrie Lake, she's stupid enough.
Stupid enough and grasping enough, because... I feel like her and Marjorie Taylor Greene should be literally every day just like dumping boxes of donuts and just piles of Big Macs on Trump's desk in the White House. Be like, eat up, Donnie. We need to keep you nice and plump, Donnie. And they're just like, oh, please let him stroke out. Please let his diseased heart explode. Make me president, God. This was your vision, God. Get me in there. Get me in there. Kill this fat slime. You can do it, God. I believe in you. I mean, like every now and then after every cabinet meeting, like Lake's just walking over to the other department heads being like, so, 25th Amendment? Sounds good to me. How about you? Anyone else? 25th Amendment? Make me president? Any of you cool with that? No? Okay, we'll reconvene in a couple months. It's all good, but just keep that in mind. 25th Amendment, and keep giving him sugar. Keep giving that man
more
sugar.
Cokes. Get that
more
button.
Coke. No more Diet Cokes. Coke. I want straight Coke. Coke. And if you want, and if he's not looking, pour more sugar in it. Just get that man's caloric intake up another 1,500 calories a day. Let's get him to a nice round 350 pounds around his 80th birthday. That way I can, because we want him to last 2 years. We want him to fall over dead on January 20th, 2025, because then I get the 10 smasher, because that's how the Constitution works. I loved it when QAnon figured that out. They were like, oh shit, you can serve 10 years as president if it breaks right. And I remember Major Patriot, right?
Code.
Yes, Major Patriot, right before he like fell off the earth and retired his digital combat boots and was no longer a digital soldier. Major Patriot was obsessed with the idea that Trump was going to become president on January 20th, 2023. That some series of events was going to enact itself, and Trump was going to serve out the last 2 years of Biden's term and then win another term as president to get the full 10 smasher. So,
I mean, that's how it works.
it is, absolutely is. That's why LBJ waited until 1963 to kill Kennedy, so he could get the 9 ball. And then he actually didn't even run for re-election in 68. But LBJ could have got 9 years if he wanted him. So, but yeah.
Also, one more. We had one more that was besides Carrie Lake.
Yes.
You know Andy Biggs?
Nope, but I think I've vaguely heard of him, but I don't know.
He's a Freedom Caucus guy. He's like literally like Paul Gosar, except he understands, I guess, that you probably shouldn't hire like explicit GOP'ers to your campaign and draw so much attention to yourself. But he tweeted, he's also like pretty involved with the Stop the Steal thing, like intricately. Ollie Alexander named him. He was like, "That's him, officer. That's the guy, you know, who helped me plan January 6th and try to overturn democracy." But yeah, Andy Biggs was like, "We've reached the war phase. It's time, eye for an eye," after the Trump indictment announcement.
Oh,
and
God.
it's like, can you shut up? He literally lives in like a fancy area. It's like, he's not going to be near anything that he stirs up. You know, he's such a fancy boy. Fancy Mormon guy, you know.
Oh, God. Oh,
you know how he got his money? This is such bullshit.
How did he get his money?
The family publisher sweepstakes. He won $10 million.
Oh my God! Oh wow! Literally just got money thrown at him from the sky.
Yeah.
Oh, that's man. Fuck you, Publishers Clearinghouse. Why not me? Why I would have done that. I would have done good things with that money instead of like kowtowing the Nazis. Ah, man, that hurts.
I know that hurts me every time. That hurts me every time.
I'm just doing the clip from the Yu-Gi-Oh! It should have been me. It should have been me.
Yeah, he's like one of the January 6th guys. He even asked for a pardon, just like Gosar. He's pretty intricately involved. You know, tried to overturn the election. So
you're saying when the Jack Smith federal indictments come down, he might be a witness or even a defendant.
Yeah, well, he was asked to come testify when the House committee did their J6 hearings, but he didn't go. He just didn't do that, and there's no consequences, and he's still my representative.
Great. I'm sure your district is like plus 40 R or something like that. So
it's pretty red.
Yeah, that sucks. So that's lovely.
They're getting angry. Or yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Is Carrie Lake actually angry, or is she just like, you know,
playing the part?
Yeah.
You doing a bit, Gov? Oh yeah. So from that we move on to Wadsack false flag / Uvalde.
Do you know what a Wadsack is?
No, I don't. That's why I said it the way I said it.
Yeah, that's a state senator here. Her name is Justine Wadsack.
That's a great last name. Ooh,
yeah, she's a big old Wadsack. Hey. All right, so I don't know. Let's set up the stage of who like Justine Wadsack is. She's recent. She just she's a freshman legislator. You know, she just won her seat. Yep. She did post about QAnon back in the day, back in like 2020. She posted this picture of Hillary, just basically saying like her days are numbered, and it had like hashtag where we go on, where we go all. You know.
Oh, of course. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, but when she was asked about it by the, like, AZ Republic, she said, like, oh, I actually think that QAnon is crap, and I've been fighting for years to stop this, and it just won't go away. But she's always tweeting shit that's, like, pretty QAnon-esque, even though it's not explicitly, like, you know, nothing can stop what is coming.
Oh, God.
Like, one she tweeted recently was, like, this like little white lamb labeled like our children, and it's like getting eaten by a bunch of wolves that say like New World Order, the World Health Organization, pedophiles, World Economic Forum, Big Pharma. You know, it's like kind of QAnon-y a little bit.
I love that Big Pharma is working hand in hand with pedophiles. I just enjoy that everyone in our world is pretty okay with pedophiles. That's just par for the course. It's just, hey, I'm rich and successful. What do I have to do now to maintain my wealth? Oh, you have to be tolerant of pedophiles. Oh, I see how this is. Fine. It was oh god, Alex Jones had a thing where he was like 80% of Democrats rape 80% of elected Democrats rape children. And the knowledge fight guys were just like, what does that other 20% do about that? Are they just sort of blasé? They just sort of, hey, it's one of the child fuckers in my caucus. Hey, child fucker. Yeah, just gotta price of doing business. Just have to
par
be
for the course.
Yep, par for the course. Just gotta be associated with an unrelenting mob of pedophiles. That's just life. That's just the way it is when you're in elective politics. That's just what you deal with. What I truly love about all of this stuff when it comes to these people is, what would kind of break up a massive pedophile ring? Elections. Because if it ever got out that you were part of a pedophile ring, you would lose the election. Never mind the whole legal consequences thing, just the public consequences of being part of this. You would no longer be in office. You would be removed. It feels to me like being like, okay, so hi, I'm the new leader of the Democratic Party in, I don't know, 1970 or whatever. Our new vision for the Democratic Party is that everyone who gets elected is either a pederast who's part of a child trafficking ring or okay with that. Smash cut to 2023. It's working. Great success. Everything's going great. Thank God no one ever caught any of us in our child trafficking or any of our other myriad of crimes. It's just, the only pedophile I can think of recently that was credibly accused of such a thing was Roy Moore, and he barely lost election in Alabama, and he was a Republican.
Yeah, we had a guy here.
You had a guy there
for that. Yeah, David Stringer. He's kind of like infamous here. Same thing. He was like child rapist.
And they kicked him out. It's so weird because once you're credibly accused of that stuff of evidence, you can't keep your seat because the public is like, oh, pederast, but goodbye. This is what has always made me laugh about QAnon so much, is they're always like, oh, Trump has to wait until after the election to do these things. Why? Donald Trump arrests army of pedophiles in the Democratic Party, loses election because the American people were like, no, we liked our pedophile leaders. So that is why just their whole concept of how the world works just doesn't make sense when you understand that we are a representative democracy, and that if you guys wanted to, remove these people from office for their crimes, all you would have to do is present evidence of those crimes. The QAnon loves pissing and moaning about Adam Schiff and the crimes he committed at the Standard Hotel. Show us the crimes. Name the victim. Give us evidence. That's all you need to do, and you win. Adam Schiff will be gone. Fuck Adam Schiff. I don't care about Adam Schiff. That's what I love about these people, is they think, oh, the normies couldn't accept it. There is no politician in America that I wouldn't gladly throw into a cell and throw away the key if they were credibly accused of being a pedophile. They're like, if you were just like, Obama is a pedophile, I wouldn't be like, no, and start rioting and breaking shit. Be like, nah.
No, I don't care. You can
no. Throw Obama in jail, throw Biden in. We do not have a cult based around a political leader. That is you. That is you. If Trump was credibly accused of being a pedophile, you would rebel. You would be the ones fighting to defend your pedophile overlord, and you would claim it was all deep state bullshit. You would lie your asses off and try to cover for him, because that's how you operate. You're all terrible monsters, and I hate you. So, yeah.
So anyway, speaking of terrible monsters who we hate,
yes,
Wadsack, besides being the QAnon, kind of like the QAnon-esque posts,
yes,
like whatever, she definitely does like kind of, how there's been like a trajectory of like all of our enemies are pedophiles to like all LGBT people are pedophiles. She's really into that. Like, even she has a gay son though. But she's
so weird. Just like based Elon and his trans daughter who won't speak to him.
Yeah, so she's like, she actually like is pretty friendly with Gays Against Groomers, which is like a hate group.
Yes.
And she sponsored some of the like really hateful anti-LGBT bills this session, including ones that would just make it illegal for like drag performers to exist in the presence of people under 18, and it would charge them with like a class 5 felony and imprison them for 15 years if like someone laid eyes upon them.
Oh no, your gaze fell upon a person in drag. Now that person in drag must be thrown in jail for forever.
Yeah.
Is this along the lines of that bill about how Governor Hobbs, who I will use the honorific that she has earned, Governor Hobbs, vetoed the pornography being filmed in schools thing?
Oh yeah. Okay, so this is also kind of tied to that. So WADSEC had this bill that would ban books basically in schools. It would make it so any books that promote gender fluidity or gender pronouns, so like literally every book, would be like under subject of being considered like child pornography.
Yeah. Oh,
it's like, yeah, pronouns are pornography. That obviously did not pass. Katie Hobbs has been hitting that veto stamp this session, but they tried to kind of wedge in that book ban bill again with this like, you can't, we're stopping the epidemic of of making pornography in K through 12 schools.
Oh, that happens all the time. I mean,
but it also like had the language of the book banning bill like in the second half, so it was like clearly also trying to wedge that in. And it was like using this real instance that did happen at like a school up north in Arizona. This lady who was a teacher there she had an OnlyFans account that like there was some photos that were in the classroom after hours, but the like Republicans took it and they're like, she was making porn on the desk right in front of little Johnny, squirting all over the classroom, you know. So
we gotta clean that up and make a clip out of it. Oh,
I'm sorry.
No, I'm joking. I'm just like little oh god, just I really didn't think we would ever talk about squirting all over little Johnny, but we're here. We're here.
But yeah, so that was kind of like how they went with it. And then when Katie Hobbs vetoed it, they're like, Katie Hobbs is like super into, like, GOP'ers released this newsletter. He was like, Katie Hobbs is super into porn, and the porn loving Katie Hobbs vetoed the anti-porn bill that would make it illegal to film porn in front of little Johnny. So they were like really hamming it up.
My favorite thing about those sickos is these are the same people that whenever it comes out that a adult teacher that is a woman had sex with like a 16-year-old boy, they're like, yeah, way to slay, young man. Boom. I wish teachers were like that when I was growing up. Woo! Yeah, they're
South Park episode. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they're all about the protected. We gotta protect the children, unless they're horny 16-year-olds. Then adult women should exploit them and have sex with them. That is good and right.
So she has some pretty funky bills, and also she had, oh my gosh, she had a bill that would like, we have an Arizona school for the deaf and blind here.
Yeah.
But it kind of serves like a bit of the West Coast in general for K through 12 students who are deaf and blind. It's specifically for students who are deaf and blind. Like the resources are specifically for them. The program is specifically made for them. It's like a really good school. I I forget what his name is, but the actor from Coda went there. That movie that he won the Academy Award for it, because he actually came and testified because Wadsack had a bill that would basically just get rid of it because she had like some personal beef with the AZ School for Deaf and Blind because her daughter didn't get accepted because she had like other disabilities that extended beyond what they could help with. So she was just like, okay, we're getting rid of this fucking school that serves so many people. That didn't pass. And like, yeah, the guy from Coda came out and was like, can you not get rid of the school, please? And then she had a bill that would basically just like make it illegal to be homeless, you know, just be like, oh, you're going to jail because you're homeless. So she sucks. She's like friendly with this, like, so how some states have Moms for Liberty, we have Purple for Parents.
Fuck.
Yeah. She was kind of like involved with them before getting elected. They're like a militia of heavy, just quote unquote parents' rights group slash like anti-Red for Ed group. Her and like some of the Purple for Parents people and like militia people stormed this school board back in like 2021 over the COVID measures that they had.
Of course.
And like the school, it was like at the Vale School Board, and the Vale School Board members like fled for their safety, and they're like, that means we win. That means we run the school board now.
Oh God. Literal January 6th logic here.
Yeah.
If we commit enough terrorism, we are the champions. We are the winners.
So she was part of that group, and then she won, you know, so that's kind of like her personality. She's currently facing a recall for anybody who cares. I'm sure we have like one listener who lives in her district.
You can do it. That one listener, you're the spark that will light the match that will bring this lady down.
Go to sackwadsack.com and help out. But anyway, so now that she's kind of getting a little bit of attention because she says a little bit of outlandish things, and she's kind of an awful human being. People have been like digging into her old socials, you know, a little bit, and just like old shit that she used to do. She actually used to be in a cover band.
Oh, Jesus.
I know. And it's like she hates gay people, but she does all these, she's like, oh, I'm going to cover David Bowie and, you know, Dead or Alive and Queen, all these like queer bands and musicians, just like that she would ban here. But anyway, so Media Matters found this kind of just, I don't want to say hilarious conversation that she had on Facebook after the Uvalde massacre in Texas.
Yeah.
But it is kind of like, man, this lady will just believe anything, you know? So she like she posts on Facebook like thoughts and prayers, just typical thoughts and prayers. She was running at the time, so she ends it with #WadSack for Arizona, which just feels like,
oh
come
God,
on, man.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh God, I feel so sorry for those children that were murdered. And BZ Dubs, vote for me.
Yeah, I know. I was like, okay, lady. But yeah, so someone replies like, oh, you know, as more details emerge, it's starting to look like a false flag. And she's like, please post info, which is just like, lady, you're running for office. So he sends like all these links that just, you know, a bunch of conspiracies about Uvalde. And she's like, yes, very interesting.
Yeah.
And then someone chimes in and she's like, you know, this is actually all has to do with the Great Replacement, to keep the minority vote in check. And she replies, she's like, what is the Great Replacement? I keep hearing about this thing. And it's like, lady, again, this is like, you're running for office. I'm going to read this word for word, what they said. He's like, the person that responds to her, just some random too. It's like, you don't have to do this.
You don't have... I just think that's literally, we could say that about all of QAnon, all the right wing, everyone. You don't have to do this.
But yeah, so this random just responds. He's like, apparently, it's a big conspiracy or something of that sort. A Google search pulls up all sorts of data surrounding it. The reason you won't find out so many different definitions is that different people from all walks of life subscribe to it in one way or another. If you Google Dr. Klein, you will find that he was part of a cult called the Quiverful or something like that. He inseminated a multitude of his patients with his own semen without their consent. I believe the idea was to proliferate his genes. You know, blonde hair and blue eyes. Like, what are your words? What are you saying, man? So what Wadsack literally responds that, like, well, I don't think it was actually to do with the Great Replacement, because she's like, the school, it doesn't seem like it was to keep the minority vote in check, because obviously the kids were, like, mostly Latino. But she's like, this is what she fucking says. She says, so many globalists with agendas to fundamentally change our world. We have to stand strong against them. Like, remove yourself from this conversation. Stop asking more questions. But I think that's just kind of who she is. Like,
I just love
weird,
the idea.
crazy, build.
Yeah. Oh, bringing up globalists unprompted is a real bad sign. That is not good. You are a bad person when you talk about the globalists, because you mean Jews. You're trying to say Jews.
Yeah. So she's cool.
Oh, it's very cool. Very cool.
So yeah, if anyone sees any more interesting Wadsack posts that are really disturbing, send them my way.
Yes.
So we can talk about them.
Arizona Right Wing Watch DMs are always open.
Yeah. That's actually why we're covering the next part, is because someone was literally like, can you guys cover this?
And what I was gonna say is, and she will even look at them, because even though most of your DMs on Twitter are now sexy Asian ladies who want to meet with you or give you stock advice. That's how this works.
I know. I feel like I miss a lot of messages now, because it's like I'm scrolling through all those, and there's probably like some sandwiched in there. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So up next, what we've been asked to talk about, cyber ninjas and their text messages.
You guys remember the cyber ninjas? Do you remember the cyber ninjas?
Oh, God, do I remember the cyber ninjas, mostly because for months and months, QAnon was like, oh, they're going to bring the whole rotten house down. Oh, this is it. This is the big payoff.
Oh,
and even Trump was like talking to people about the cyber ninjas, because he's a giant dum-dum who will buy into any hopium that makes sound good for him. And then when they finally came out, they're like, well, okay, we did the recount and Biden won by more. Actually, yes, Biden won by 100 more votes than originally calculated. That's our review, is that undercounted Biden. Biden wins bigger than originally thought in Maricopa County. So yeah, that was all that buildup, all that hype, and the big payoff was there was no fraud, there was nothing. If anything, our great enemy picked up a few votes.
Yeah, so obviously it was bullshit from the start. You know, everybody kind of knew, if you lived here, like, it was bullshit. It's like, hey man, all those people that just like tried to overturn the election are now trying to do an audit here. That's kind of weird, right? And it seems like super fishy and not up to snuff. That's weird, right? So we all knew it was bullshit, and it was almost also like they kind of presented it like, oh, it's only going to take 2 weeks. It'll only take 2 weeks to count fucking million plus ballots by hand. Which they seriously fucked up on that one.
I will never forget that they had to postpone their counting for a while, because like that auditorium was being rented out for graduations. So it's like the fate of the world hangs in the balance, but gotta take a week off for graduations. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, I know, that was so funny. When I was Jehovah's Witness, we used to have like our big congregational meetings in there, so it's just funny vibes all around. Not when I was Jehovah's Witness, when my family was forcing me, you know, to go to it, whatever. But anyways, it's just a funny vibe at that Coliseum all around. We also have our fair there, our state fair. But anyway, so the Cyber Ninja audit bullshit. Okay, but they've the American Oversight Committee and some local newspapers have long been requesting the text messages between like Doug Logan, who is Mr. Cyber Ninja, and like people that were involved with the audit. And they've been stalling literally this whole time because they didn't want these text messages to get out. And like they were kind of forced to turn them over. So anyway,
a lack of transparency in my right-wing grift. Why I never.
I know the most transparent audit ever. They kept calling it too. It's just like very funny. But so anyway, these text messages, the Arizona Republic has been kind of going through like the ones that they requested. They did come, like the text messages were out like 6 months ago through the American Oversight Committee, but like the Republic's going through them now, so they're kind of going a bit more, they're getting more attention now. So anyway, it was kind of like just showing that, it was bullshit from the start. And like Doug Logan was literally tweeting like that he couldn't count. Like he was not understanding numbers. He's like, he kept tweeting like, our numbers are screwy. Like, I don't know what the fuck we're doing. Like I'm looking through all the data and it's like, it's broken. It doesn't make any sense. And it's like, the point of this fucking audit is to count the fucking ballots. So it's like, if you're not counting them correctly, then you just don't know what the fuck you're doing. Because that is the thing that is like, the news does like to say, like what you say is like, oh, they proved that Biden actually won by more. And it's like, they didn't prove shit, in my opinion, because they didn't know what the fuck they were doing ever from the start. Like, they just kind of...
They just literally... It sounds weird that they actually made up numbers to make Biden win more. That's really weird to me.
That's what I was thinking, too, because if you read through these texts, I was like, was this kind of like a beef thing with Doug? Like... at the end, because if you're, man, Doug's a piece of shit. Doug Logan is a big old piece of shit. But, like, I don't know. He clearly was struggling with some things during the audit. Like, I think Trump was his great white hope, and it was kind of getting shattered a little bit during the audit. Maybe? I don't know. They were definitely, like, putting a lot of the weight on him. Christina Bobb from OAN and also Trump's lawyer was tweeting him or texting him like just to get the shit done quicker and like you need to be more inspirational because like the base is losing hope and Trump needs to see some more shit from this audit kind of thing. And it was just like showing that like him and Bob, who's Trump's lawyer and also was reporting, quote unquote, reporting for OAN about the audit at this time and also fundraising for it and then funneling that money back to Doug. It was just kind of like them communicating and more proof that they were communicating at the time, which was fucking obvious from the beginning.
Yeah.
But like, she was even kind of, because he wanted to like testify in the J6 committee because he was subpoenaed.
Yeah.
And she's like, nope, you're not doing that. Like she convinced him not to do that. And he did kind of want to fess up that he did not know what the fuck he was doing, but she's like, nope, you're not doing that either. Like they'll lose faith in you. And then there was this hilarious time, in the text, like, so Lynn Wood, everybody's favorite yeehaw lawyer.
Oh yeah.
He was also kind of tied to the audit because he donated $50,000 through Christina Bobb's own audit grift.
Yeah, there were like so many grifts.
I know.
That audit. Oh my god.
So he gave her $50K for the audit, which was technically, I think, supposed to go towards the audit, but again, it just went to her own grift. And then, like, Doug Logan had a falling out with Lynn Wood because they had previously worked together before the audit. And he's like, I want my money back. And Christina Bobb took that money through her shit, and she was like, Doug, you need to give him his money back.
And Doug's like, you have his money, bitch.
Yeah, he's like, I can't pay my bills because she kept holding it over him. She's like, I'll give you $80,000 or like $8,000 so you can pay your bills today if you like, you know, give an interview with the media or like don't testify with it. You know, she kept like holding shit over his head, like for payment. It seemed like it was like she seemed kind of a little evil.
I just love that guy thought he was getting into such a smooth grift of this recount, and he's just immediately trapped in this web of fucking rival competing grifts, and it's all a scam. And now he's the one on the hook for the whole audit, and he's just like, "Fuck! What the shit? This is supposed to be just a smash and grab, and I was gonna make a quick buck. How did it turn into this? Oh god!"
Kind of like a true believer too. Like he had like a huge cross in the audit room that was just like made up of statements about the audit, you know, like post-it notes. And then I think he just kind of like was in over his head, like way in over his head.
Oh yeah.
And now he's broke and has like 12 kids that he has to take care of with that negative Cyber Ninjas money.
Great. Congratulations, Elizabeth. I'm so glad. It couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. So yeah, fuck him. Fuck Cyber Ninjas. Oh
yeah,
my god.
He ruined democracy in Arizona, like for a while in Arizona. So I guess that's what you get, bud. But yeah, last thing is just Sound of Freedom, which is literally nothing. It's just the AZGOP had a private screening to that new Jim Caviezel movie.
Oh my god. This is the Adrenochrome children movie.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to watch this. This is gonna be bonus content. We're gonna watch this.
I have to watch it, and I was like, ew. I saw like the first 15 minutes. It was like, how many times can you say the word pedophile? Jesus Christ.
That'll be part of our bonus content. We'll have a running counter for pedophile.
I gotta find a pirated version of it.
Well, you did not say that publicly.
Oh, okay. I gotta find.
We are going to find. Yeah, no. Oh, it's staying in, but we're gonna when we make clips of this movie, know that we did it above board and totally legally. You know what?
I don't even need to find a pirated version for it. I can just go on twitter.com, search it, and I'm sure it'll be uploaded in full on someone's account because Twitter don't work no more.
Well, Twitter works for those of us who want to watch things for free. So.
Yeah.
Thanks, based Elon, understander of copyright laws. God, it's gonna be so awesome when Twitter no longer exists in Europe in a couple months.
I don't even watch those John Wick movies, but when I saw like the third or fourth one was on the timeline, I'm like, I'll play it.
Hey, free movie. Yeah. I ain't gonna kick a free movie out of bed.
That's me.
Yep, exactly. Oh man. Okay, so yeah, Sound of Freedom. We're gonna have to go in depth on that at some point down the line.
Yeah, it's out on July 4th. So.
Oh, of course it is. Oh my god, fucking.
It's actually showing at a ton of theaters around me. I was like, I should go see it for like the full experience, but I'll have to pay for another ticket for something else and then sneak in because I can't.
That's like the I'll have to send it to you. It's this awesome drawing, and the caption was me leaving the Oppenheimer theater and walking into the Barbie theater.
Oh my god, I can't wait!
It's basically like just like this the regular like the I don't know my incel culture that well enough, but I know Stacy is the hot chick who's allowed to be judgmental about who she sleeps with. But the girl who's supposed to just fuck incels because she's not that hot, it's basically her slowly transforming into Stacy over the course of a series of events. And so that was the Oppenheimer girl turning into the Barbie girl, ready to see the Barbie movie. So, yeah.
Are you wearing your all pink outfit for Barbie?
You know it. Oh God, you know.
I'm so excited.
I don't know that I own any pink clothing, but I will have to purchase it in order to see Barbie in the appropriate decor. I want to have the proper accoutrements on when I see Barbie. Which spoiler alert, I probably won't. I've never watched movies in the theaters. I have to be dragged screaming and kicking to the theater.
Yeah, I'm not really like a theater person. But I feel like Sound of Freedom because I want to see if anybody says anything wild in the theater. I'm sure they'll be open sobbing, you know.
Oh, I mostly want to see the movie exclusively for the fact that I want to know if there's actual adrenochrome scenes. I want to know.
Too. That's literally why I want to see it. I would think there's going to be a scene with adrenochrome. I think.
If there's an adrenochrome scene, it will be the greatest. The greatest.
I will scream in the theater.
Yes.
Yes, they did it.
Actually, I would be the reverse. I would be the girl crying when Trump got inaugurated. I would be that meme. I'd be going like, no, we're really validating these fucking pieces of shit. No!
That's true. I shouldn't be excited. I'm sorry.
But no, I don't care. I know what's going to happen because it's Jim Caviezel. The man is both dumber than a brick and totally pilled. So, oh my god, like that. That QAA episode was horrifying when they talked about what Jim Caviezel's like on set. So,
also, he's been on like the adrenochrome circuit lately. I saw Wendy Rogers share a video of him talking about adrenochrome, like, you know, here's some of the truth. And then I saw Kelly Townsend, who was a former legislator here, share another video of Jim Caviezel talking about adrenochrome, and it was a different one. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh god. We are getting an adrenochrome scene 100%. Oh my god. I like literally I on a scale of 1 to 10 where like 10 was Trump winning Florida and I'm realizing, oh no, this is actually going to fucking happen. Like this is like a solid like 6 where it's just like, yeah, mainstream Hollywood cinema is going to have a fucking adrenochrome scene in it so that these fucking chuds are going to talk. That scene is going to get replayed more than Michelle Obama's dancing on Ellen will. This is going to be, oh my God, they're never going to fucking let this go. That clip is going to exist in perpetuity when we just see some haggard, Hillary-looking or Soros-looking motherfucker just tapping an artery in some little kid's neck as the little kid's screaming and crying, and then they're just going, and it's like, oh my god, it's just gonna be, oh my god.
I think it'll be more subtle, like it'll be kind of like this blurry shot in the foreground, and it's like you can kind of tell blood is getting taken from kids, you know? Maybe. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be subtle, but I think it's going to happen. I honestly, I want to see it day one now because I'm not really a spoilers person, but I don't want to be spoiled if there's adrenochrome in the Jim Caviezel movie.
The thing is that I think if it was a well-made movie, it would be subtle, but I think Jim Caviezel Jim Caviezel is incapable of subtlety. So it's just going to be whole hog, Hillary and Huma just slurping blood like vampires.
It'll be like that Jordan Peterson video of like dudes getting sucked by the sucking machine.
Yes. Yes. Oh God. Daughter Peterson, please put pop back in the sleepy chamber again. He's tripping again. Oh God. No more milking videos for you, Jordan. Only dreams now. Only dreams.
He's Joker posting right now, so he's on some other shit.
Yeah, he's gone now. So
he's gone.
Oh, so that concludes our thrilling and disturbing third installment of Watching the Right Wing in Arizona with Arizona Right Wing Watch. If you want to give either of us two clowns money, do so. Go to my Patreon at pokerpolitics at patreon.com. What is your Patreon to give you money? Because you would obviously like money as well.
I think it's Arizona Right Watch, which is also my Substack, which you can subscribe to. I'm also on Blue Sky, which I was a little bit blackpilled on last week because I don't know. But whatever.
Because Jack fucking sucks as an RFK Jr. supporter, so yeah.
A little bit. It's kind of like all these apps suck, but like, I don't know. I'm on Blue Sky and I am actually using it. So if you'd like to follow me there, AZRWW on there. And then also that on Twitter, but with like an underscore in the middle between AZ and RWW. It's confusing, but whatever.
Yes. So having said all that, if we are unworthy of your money, and Lord knows how that could even be possible, please donate to love146.org. They are an organization that is dedicated to ending child trafficking and are good people and not bad people. And so please help them out because that's a good thing to do. And beyond all of that, you know where I am. I'm at Poker Politics. HellwQrld's at HellwQrld. Thanks to DJ Minimal Effort for the intro theme. And thanks to at FrostyVO on social medias for the intro to this thing that Haley loves because it is her personal intro. And
That
we
was
made
cool.
it just for her. Yes. So for what I believe to be a successful installment of Watching the Right Wing in Arizona with Arizona Right Wing Watch, I am Mike Rains. Good speed, Patriots.